Okay, let's talk about cycle 1, weeks 7 and 8. So they're in the foundations guide on pages 118 and 119. And these are nature walks. So week 7 is an animal nature walk, and week 8 is a plant nature walk. But you're essentially doing the same thing both weeks. So I'm making one video. One thing I recommend that you get is the iNaturalist app. Let's see if we can, right here, iNaturalist app. It's a free app. When I first got it, I just downloaded it again because I don't keep it on my phone, but I get it periodically. It wanted me to log in, but down at the bottom it said skip, and so I was able to skip that and not log in. And so you can use it just fine if you don't log in. You just can't like share your images with the world or whatever, so it's not a big deal. So this still works great without a login. And then at the bottom there's like observe, and then it will use your camera, and you can point your camera at a plant or a bug or an animal, and it will identify it for you. So that's pretty cool. If you find some things and the kids really want to know what it is and nobody knows, then that's a really handy app to have. Okay, so the adults can get that, or just you, the tutor, can get that. And then every kid has a nature journal. So these are the ones we use. They are called blank books, and we got them from Target for $3. It was like 8 for $3. So these are very short, and they're just plain white paper. You can find something very similar on Amazon. You can also just use plain paper, and then the cover can be a piece of cardstock. So you don't need to make these elaborate, guys, because they don't need to be long. They don't need to have a lot of paper in them, and it just really doesn't need to be elaborate. So don't spend a lot of time or money on these. So nature journal, every student gets a pencil. Every student could carry a magnifying glass. Every student gets a gallon-sized Ziploc each week. And the tutor, you guys could carry thermometers. The book suggests carrying thermometers to maybe check the temperature. If you like, stick one under a bush and stick one in the bright sunlight and kind of compare or determine ground temperatures. It's similar to what we did another week in the first quarter, but the book suggests it, so I'm going to give these to the tutors, my tutors. If you use it or not, it's up to you. So those are all the supplies that you need for these 2 weeks. And then basically what you're doing is you're just finding any natural area around your location, and you're walking to see what bugs you can find. You know, of course, lots of bugs live under things. So if you find rocks, lift logs, maybe rustle around some pine straw or some leaves. Look on the sides of trees. Just see what kind of bugs you see. Maybe you live somewhere where you actually see big animals like mammals. I'm not sure that my community will see any mammals where we live, but I think we'll see lots and lots of bugs of various kinds. So you might see birds though, so that would be cool. So any kinds of things like that, and you know, let your kids draw pictures in their nature journals about what they're finding, or write words or whatever. They can use their nature journals however they want to. There's really no rules about how to use those journals. So if your kids love to draw, let them draw. If they really don't and they just want to scribble in it, it's fine, right? So you're going to talk about what they're seeing. You're going to try to identify it. That's where that app comes in handy. You can talk about vertebrate, unvertebrate. Guys, I'm just reading from the Foundations Guide here. So there's actually some good ideas just right in here that you can use. And then same thing for the plant nature walk. Walk around and see what kind of plants you find, and try and find a variety of different ones. This shouldn't be as hard because even places that have not much natural air will still have some like bushes and trees. So you shouldn't have too much trouble with that one. And then again, you can use that app to try and identify the different ones. And, you know, encourage the kids to, if you find a good bug, or if you want to look at a leaf up close and kind of see what the details of that leaf are so that you can draw it more in detail, that's what these can be really handy for. By the way, I love these magnifying glasses. They're from Cornerstone Education. They have 2 different magnifying things, and they're very just sturdy and well made. These are my favorite. They're not expensive either. Okay, so I really think that is mostly what weeks 7 and 8 is. We like these weeks. This quarter is, I think Cece does a really good job of sort of alternating. You know, Tin Whistle's a little bit more intensive on the tutors, so they give you guys a little bit easier of a science quarter. So this definitely is an easier science quarter that's not super intensive on you. Guys, you're just looking, you're observing, you're talking about what you find, you're just being in awe of what God has created. And so lots of opportunity for conversation. And even just the traveling out of your building and to the natural area is going to take time. So just be talking, maybe be singing some of those science songs. If you've sung a science song that makes sense, like the vertebrates, invertebrates. I can't think of all the science songs off the top of my head, but anything you've read so far that might have to do with animals or plants. Oh, plant cells, like parts of an animal cell, parts of a plant cell. You could be singing those while you're traveling and using that time really well to be reviewing all about God's beautiful world. So that is weeks 7 and 8.